How to fight depression. There's one good thing about depression. People who are prone to depression are good at thinking, observing, and understanding things. In short, these people have a sharp mind. Try noticing this. Direct counseling doesn't work much on these people. Someone tells a thing and they agree to it? Not at all. First of all, what is told should be accompanied with proper logic and explanation. After that, they'll relate it somewhere around them, and then when they experience or observe that thing themselves, then they'll consider it. Now, what's good about it? Good thing is they have potential. The problem is just that they're using it in the wrong direction. We just have to help them change their direction, and once it happens, they'll find their own way. Let's see why depression happens. Firstly, stress does not cause depression. If stress caused depression, then you tell me, could anyone survive? Yes, stress could be an aggravating factor or act as a catalyst, but it's not the actual culprit. The root cause of depression is self-doubt. We notice some flaws in ourselves and then think of ourselves as inferior or less capable than others, not realizing everyone do have flaws. No one is perfect. To be aware of your shortcomings is actually a very good thing, but being restless because of that, that's not right. Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse 66 says, "There is no wisdom to the unsteady one. For the unsteady no meditation is possible. To the unmeditative there can be no peace. To the one who has no peace, how can there be happiness?" Basically, depression is prolonged sadness. And what we have to do is change direction. So what's the opposite of sadness? Happiness. Now look at the verse. It implies that for happiness, peace is required. For peace, meditativeness is required. And for meditativeness, steadiness is required. Okay, so we need to be steady. I agree that being steady or firm is sometimes challenging. So to help ease out the process, here are 3 ways to be firm in almost every situation. First, forgive or apologize. You might have heard of this a lot. Forgive and move on. Hold on there. Forgive and move on is great. We should all follow it. But why do we only talk about forgiving and not asking for forgiveness? We need to realize that sometimes, or actually a lot of times, it's us who needs to be forgiven. It's a kind of unknown baggage that we carry along. Now a lot of us would say, that wasn't my mistake, the other person misunderstood me. Well, even if that's the case, go to that other person and apologize for unknowingly hurting them. If you're confused about how to do it, try this exact sentence. "I'm sorry if you felt blah blah blah, but that wasn't my intention." You'll feel instant relaxation. It works like a magic trick. See, your work is done as soon as you apologize for your mistake. Known or unknown, doesn't matter. The other person forgives you or not, doesn't matter. It's their part, let them deal with it. Second, change or accept. If it is something fixable, fix it. If it's something uncontrollable, accept it. Third one, let go. Let it go and see what happens. Now, when someone is in depression, it seems to them that there is no way out. Please understand, it's not that there is no way out, it's just that we aren't able to see it. Bhagavad Gita chapter 4 verse 42 says, "With the sword of knowledge cut asunder the doubts and fear that have arisen in your heart. Establish yourself in your work. Arise, stand up, and take action." In simpler words, this verse says to accumulate knowledge and take action. So always keep learning new things. And it doesn't necessarily have to be related to your work. Just think out of the box. Try something like cultural dancing, salsa, riding a bike, swimming, kickboxing, rock climbing, rope climbing, anything. Specifically in the case of depression, try to go with something that requires a bit of physical activity plus a bit of mental activity as well. Having said that, the best tool to handle every situation is mind. But then controlling or keeping the mind focused is another problem, isn't it? It keeps running here and there, right? Bhagavad Gita chapter 6 verse 26 says, "Because of its unsteady nature, whenever and wherever the restless mind wanders, one should bring it back under the control of self and continually keep it focused." I'll try to explain this through an analogy. Mind is like a child, and your consciousness needs to act as a parent. If a child demands for anything harmful, what does the parent do? The parents straight away deny it, even if the child cries, becomes angry, or does whatever for it. We have to do the same with our mind, and just in a few days, our mind will be more focused. The fourth thing that we need to practice is discussed repeatedly in almost every chapter of Bhagavad Gita. It is neutrality, equipoise. Please listen to it closely. It means to live with the same emotions in every situation. Because whenever you call out something as good or bad, you emotionally connect with it in the same way. And with your emotions, your energy level also fluctuates. Now sometimes on a very high energy and sometimes on very low. Because of this fluctuation, without you even noticing it, you get exhausted. And being exhausted or tired all the time will make you feel dull, which should not be the case. Not in the case of depression at least, because depression is dullness, prolonged sadness or dullness. So try to be neutral in every situation. Just do one last thing. You have taken care of everything on psychological level. Now pay a bit of attention to physical aspect as well. Our body is made of 5 elements: air, water, fire, earth, ether. We need to connect to all the 5 elements of which we are made of at the same time. If you live somewhere nearby a beach, pond, lake, or any water body, you won't have to do much of the work. Just go to the place, you'll find water and sand over there. Sun God blesses us almost every day, so we're left with air and ether, which are actually available to us 24/7. Now for people who cannot go out, I would suggest doing some gardening on a sunny day without the gloves and if possible barefoot, so that your hands and feet come in contact with the sand and water. The basic idea is to contact with all the 5 elements at the same time. You just need to do these 5 things, and within a month you'll see a good positive difference in yourself without any medication. Quick recap of these 5 things. No one's perfect. So whatever internal dialogue you're facing, quit it. How? Forgive or apologize, change or accept, let go. Second, keep learning. Keep learning something new. Third, control your mind. Keep it focused. Be a little more stern with your mind. Fourth, try to be neutral in every situation. Fifth, contact with the 5 elements that we are made of. If you are facing depression, then please remember, the biggest strength you have is you yourself. And if you know someone who's facing depression, please reach out to them and let them know that you are there for support. They say we come alone, we go alone. Let's at least try to live together. I hope this information serves some good to someone out there. Take care of yourself. Listen good, watch good, speak good. Good things will follow. We'll again meet soon with a different topic. Radhe Radhe.